Good morning, Scallywags. Boo here with another mindless drivel, and today, I'm talking Godzilla, King of the Monsters. But anyone who has been watching the channel for a while knows that I can't talk about Godzilla. It doesn't feel right. There's just something missing. I know. Well, hey!
You said Godzilla.
I did say Godzilla. It's D! I feel like I should say today on the show.
Well, you can. Today on the show.
So yes, we just came back from watching it, watching Godzilla King of the Monsters at the IMAX, which, I mean, like we were kind of talking about earlier, if you're going to see the movie, if you haven't already, don't see it at a regular theater. You are not doing this movie justice.
No.
Unless you see it on the giant
It's got to be
screen.
on the biggest possible screen with the best possible sound you can have.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh.
And this is your second time seeing it.
This is my second time. Yeah. It's my second time.
Yeah, and of course, I'm going to be giving my basic thoughts, and he's going to be kind of filling in all the lore and the stuff that I don't know about. So, it's nice to have a specialist. So I think the best way to jump into this, if you watched the video I did a week or so ago about, it was my review of the reviews of King of the Monsters, there was a lot of complaints about not enough people this time around, and that the story that was there with the people was very small and flimsy, and I gotta disagree.
No. There's a fine line in monster movies between monster and people, and this threaded that Occam's razor very well.
Of course, the first movie you had a lot of people and very little monster, and from what I had heard anyway going into this was that this one was pretty much the exact opposite of that, where it was all monster and no people, but surprisingly that really wasn't the case.
No, there was plenty of people action in here. The biggest critique from Rotten Tomatoes, and yeah, I'm gonna throw out Rotten Tomatoes. The human interaction and the human story was not nearly as good as it should have been, and I digress and disagree.
I liked it. I mean, not only was it a good balance, I mean, there was a ton of monster action in this one. I mean, and not just from Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah. I mean, you had, I think they mentioned that there's 17, but we only see six,
seven,
I think.
Seven at the end.
And we'll get to the monsters here in just a little bit. But like, so basically, let's go into like the actual story of this. So it actually starts off in the 2014 Godzilla. So you've got Godzilla, he's fighting the Mutos, and we see a family, which is Vera Farmington. Yeah.
Fried octopus.
Names.
Yeah.
And her husband, and of course you got their daughter, and they're looking for their son. Long story short, their son has been killed in the attack, and I didn't think these zoom-ins properly. That's a little tight.
No, this is really unusual.
Spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, lots and lots of spoilers.
And then we kind of jump ahead a few years, and of course now the daughter has grown up to be 11, not 11 years old,
but 11.
I mean, she might be 11. They never really discuss how old she is, but Millie Bobby Brown, 11 from Stranger Things, and she and her mom are now actually kind of living on a Monarch base.
Which, can I say, for being in the remotest part of China, had good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, excellent Wi-Fi, definitely. And here we find that Vera Farmigan has made a device called the Orca that will actually allow them to kind of communicate with the Titans, which I feel weird saying Titans instead of Kaiju.
Yeah, it should be Kaiju, but I don't. It's okay.
Coming soon, they're doing a prequel. It's about Godzilla's younger years, and I think it's called Teen Titans.
Wrong genre.
Oh.
Right studio though.
Yeah, true. Anyway, we get to see the birth of Mothra, if you will, in the larvae stage, which. Very cool thing there, of course, Mothra being the kind of gentle giant, they've always portrayed her as that. Like, when she gets freaked out by all the guards and stuff pulling guns on her and stuff, she doesn't kill them.
Nope.
she just like webs them to the floor, and like even one guy that she picks up and tosses him into a big web. I was like, oh, he's all right. He's good.
But here's the thing that I don't understand: how close do you have to be to operate that? I mean, it's established in the movie that they can hear this from thousands of miles
across
away.
the world. But
she's got to go in the glass to get it up.
Yeah,
close.
she's like as from me to the camera, setting this thing up. But I mean, we got to get the movie going somehow.
Yep.
So moving right along, the base is suddenly attacked by Charles Dance, which, or as I like to refer to him, Tarkin. Reincarnated, and he actually ends up kidnapping Millie Bobby Brown and Vera Farmiga.
That's never going to get old.
Nope. We then cut over to the husband, and of course, we learned that after the death of the son, the husband they split apart. He started drinking, you know, the classic tale, like you do, and he's been trying to get back in contact with Eleven. I don't know what her name is. Maddie.
Maddie.
Yeah,
Maddie.
in the movie. But I'm just
11
going to end up
works.
calling her 11.
11 works.
So when we catch up to the husband, he's out. He's studying wolves, taking pictures, kind of recording sounds and stuff. We don't really find out what that's all about, but he's studying animals. When suddenly a Monarch helicopter shows up. And out steps Dr. Serizawa and Dr. Graham, played by Sally Hawkins. They're back from the first movie, and they tell him that, well, you got to come with us, because, well, there's
didn't really give him an option.
Some trouble.
Option to say no, just, hey, there's trouble, your wife and daughter are involved, and he has the dad moment of, I told you this was going to happen.
Pretty much. Which we forgot to mention that before this happens, we actually see it's kind of a Senate hearing with the guys from Monarch and Thomas Middleditch, which is kind of like the liaison to the Senate. And so basically they're wanting the military to take over Monarch. Everybody kind of wants to kill all the Titans, and of course Serizawa is like, no, they're our protectors. They were here first. It's their world.
Okay, so the first Godzilla in 1954, big on environmentalist and anti-nuclear war. This is spot on in its shadow, big environmentalist, we're killing the world, yada, yada, yada. But the best line in the movie is, so you want to make Godzilla our pet? Nope. We'd be his.
We would be his.
Anyway, to kind of speed things up a little bit, turns out that that Vera Farmiga, it's Farmiga, I know, it's just a funny last name. Anyway, she is actually in cahoots with the bad guy, which played by Charles Dance.
Who would have thought?
I know, right? So they have this plan to basically wake up Ghidorah and all the Titans, essentially, but one at a time, to essentially kill us off, I guess? Kind of pull a Thanos on us, essentially.
Restore balance?
Yeah, they want to bring balance to the world, and
missing a few gems, I think.
Yeah, right. Basically, they kind of point out that San Francisco and Vegas that were attacked in the first movie are now flourishing with plant life and things because of the radiation put off by the monsters.
And all the leaves now bear fruit that's remarkably odd.
Yeah, and there's lots of cancer.
Everywhere. So
of course the Monarch guys, they now go on this mission to go off and find Vera and 11. I don't remember what Vera's name was in the movie, but anyway.
Yeah.
And as a result of all of this tampering, of course, you get the 4 monsters that we have in this movie and others. But of course, they wake up Ghidorah, and that's kind of what really sets things in motion.
You know, waking up a 3-headed monster is never a good thing.
No, especially when you know it's an alpha predator, and that's where Big Green's got to come in, and there's so many awesome fight scenes between the two of them. Oh dear God! And unfortunately, we actually lose a couple of our beloved characters. Sally Hawkins' character, Dr. Graham, she actually gets eaten by Ghidorah.
She was a Tic Tac.
Yeah, and then Serizawa sacrifices himself to kind of heal Godzilla later on in the film, But let's move away from like the story and the plot, because we got so much other stuff to cover here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the Argo.
No, it's the Avengers Initiative.
Yes.
Wrong. Sorry.
But this is totally S.H.I.E.L.D. working in the Godzilla universe. The Argo is basically just this giant. Like, imagine an aircraft that's like designed kind of like a stealth, except it's the size of a small town. The thing's got a hospital inside. It's got an entire
military base. It's got a lab. It's got an acoustic center. You know, it's your basic Walmart with wings.
It's a Star Destroyer, kind of.
Yeah. Well, Tarkin would have really liked it.
Right. Yeah. Except it was on the wrong side. I actually pointed out in my review that the guy whose review I was watching this from, or one of the one that I watched it from, was actually talking about how it was the first time that he'd ever been concerned for the well-being of a vehicle in a movie, and I get it. I totally get it. This thing was awesome.
I have nothing else to add to that. It was an incredible ship and astounding that it could fly.
I won't lie. Kind of bouncing around here. This is a little chaotic. This was. I mean, we planned on doing this, but as far as like once we came out of the movie, we were like, okay, so how are we doing this
How are we
exactly?
doing?
We should have maybe talked about that when
How
we
would
talked
that-
about doing it. We just didn't talk about how we were doing
You
it.
mean we actually were going to plan something?
I guess that's not really our style.
No. Anyway, a lot of the inspirations. We need to talk about the inspirations. So
Yes.
many inspirations.
So we mentioned that there were a number of other kaiju or titans in this film. Some of them were based on old Toho monsters.
Yep.
Now we actually got to see another female Muto in this one, like the ones from the first one. So she shows up, and then I think there was 6 of them
There were
overall?
6 of them overall that we actually saw, and the neat thing is if you go to monarchsciences.com, now they're starting to actually reveal those other titans on their website.
They've had it where you could track them
Yep.
for quite some time, but now you can actually see pictures and stuff. And
A lot of them are very old Toho inspired. You got a Kamangara, which is a giant spider. If you get the art of King of the Monsters, you will see several nods to monsters that to kaiju that couldn't appear on film.
yeah, apparently they were trying to get Gamera
Yeah.
for this movie, and there's concept art for it. They also tried to get, they were going to do Gigan, and had to cut Gigan, and I forget who else.
Anguirus.
Anguirus.
Yeah, the little spiky friend of Godzilla.
Oh, yes, yes. Which, at the end of the movie, the last shot of the movie kind of reminded me a little bit of Jurassic Park.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
the last
yeah.
shot of Jurassic Park. But Godzilla is, standing on a mound and literally roaring with his hands out, and all of the all the other titans are around him, basically bowing.
Yeah.
So definitely, I want to know where they're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
Who else are we gonna get? We know we get Kong versus Zilla in a year, and that's just it's too far away.
It is too far away, but that's you're gonna have just the only actual good character there is played by Skarsgård. So, and Millie Bobby Brown makes a return.
Yeah. And speaking of Kong versus Zilla, the ending credits of it basically kind of there's a lot.
There's
of
a
info.
lot. Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Which, I mean, the fact that people actually get up and start walking out of the theater during credits nowadays, it surprises me.
For the last 10 years, there have been after credit scenes practical in any sci-fi comic book inspired movie.
Yeah, and this one's no different. But not a scene, but just there's clips like
A lot of
newspaper clips
and websites and different TV shows all touting. One of them is Carnival Cruise gets a surprise visit by Godzilla.
It's like whale watching
It's
now.
whale watching now,
Zilla
yeah.
watching. But it mentions that all of the monsters are actually converging onto Skull Island.
Yeah.
So I get it's setting up Kong versus Zilla, but it doesn't mention why.
It doesn't mention why. No. You do get a nice little piece there in the middle of the mid-credit scenes where spoilers again, where Kong and Zilla are on cave art.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
really cool.
Yep, which we kind of got to see a small glimpse of that at the end of Skull Island, but this was other cave paintings. So looks like this may not be the first time that they've met before. And of course, we do also get an after-credit scene, kind of teasing what may be the setup and plot for Kong vs. Godzilla. Basically, you've got Charles Dance, and he's kind of entering into this black market-looking type place, which you brought up a good point earlier when we were watching the movie. Why is it anytime that there is any kind of a factory scene or a warehouse scene, someone's always welding?
Go back and watch any movie that's got a warehouse scene. Somebody's going to be welding. Yeah. Randomly.
But basically, during the run of the movie, he was kind of known as being an eco-terrorist who had been collecting the DNA of the Titans. And we learned that he is actually there to purchase the head of King Ghidorah.
How much is that worth on them? You charge by the pound, or is it the ounce, or
are the flies included? There were. I like the fact that they added a lot of flies.
There was a lot of buzzing.
Attention to detail. That's good.
And another thing in that after credit scene, there were a lot of people just randomly standing.
I know.
In the dark,
right? Yeah. It
just
was. It like if you would have just said this was a refugee camp, I would have believed it.
Yeah.
It was just people just kind of hanging out in this room with a severed head that probably didn't smell very ripe No.
And you didn't know they were there till he threw the light switch on. It's
Yeah,
like,
they're just
click,
sitting
oh,
in
hi,
the dark.
everybody.
Just families sitting in the dark in a warehouse with a severed head of a dragon, just hanging
I
out.
bet you they were worshiping it.
That might be, actually. So our kind of theory is that basically he's going to end up cloning Ghidorah. Ghidorah is going to come back, because in the movie we do actually see Ghidorah get one of his heads cut off and it regenerates. So our belief is that they're going to kind of use that fact to bring Ghidorah back from the dead, and that's going to end up being the main the main
bad guy. Mm-hmm.
of Kong versus Godzilla. So like the actual fight will kind of happen early on in the movie, and we're predicting Kong, by the way. But then like all the Titans will have to kind of team up to fight this maybe new Ghidorah.
Super Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Mecha Ghidorah.
So we called it here. You saw it here first. So we've kind of talked a little bit about characters. We've talked a little bit about the story. We talked about the ending credits and stuff. But the thing we had to save for last, because dear God, the Easter eggs in this movie.
So many Easter eggs.
This is all you.
Let's see. I'll see how
Mostly.
quick I can go through these. There was a King Kong versus Godzilla throwback reference, as we saw in the cave painting, 1962. Yes,
Pretty much all of the Monarch bases are numbered.
Yes.
And every one of those numbers is connected to something. They had base 61. That's the year that Mothra was introduced.
Yep.
Was it 54? The first Godzilla?
Yep.
There was also the one that threw me, and I actually did figure it out. I think the Antarctic base was
Outpost 32.
Outpost 32.
That's a nod to the
Thing. Yes, thank
Yep,
you.
it
Okay,
is.
I
It's a
wasn't
nod to
alone
the
on this
Thing.
one, because that was Outpost
Yep.
31,
Yep, mhm.
and you had a creature, an alien creature, frozen in ice. So okay,
That was a
cool.
nod
I
to the
wasn't
Thing.
alone in that. So that's
Let's
awesome.
see. So we got a Burning Godzilla reference. We've got the
yeah, we
the
did.
Rodan reference was amazing, coming out of the volcano. The way the Orca actually works is very reminiscent of just the Destroy All Monsters from '69 with the Keylocks, the
We
space
got
aliens.
the oxygen destroyer.
The Oxygen Destroyer was in there, which, by the way, did exactly what it did in the original Godzilla.
Yeah.
Serizawa kind of
sacrificing
flipped.
himself. Yeah.
He ended his own life in the '54 Godzilla to preserve the balance, and he ended his own life to preserve the balance.
And I believe he actually said the same line that he said in the original. Did he not?
No, he did not
No?
say anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my mistake. One that I caught that he didn't is in what I guess is supposed to be Atlantis, apparently, or at the beginning scene where Millie Bobby Brown is like emailing her dad. There's some news articles. Hey! Oh, missed that scene.
That's wrong path.
Yeah. News articles on the side of the screen, and one of them says, like, evidence found of ancient lost city. So I took that as being Atlantis. They said it was older than Egypt and older than all this stuff. But in that Godzilla's lair, basically, the statue that was from The Exorcist.
He caught it. I didn't.
Was in there. It was real
quick.
Blink and you
A
would
lot of
miss
these
it.
Easter eggs are real quick. You're gonna miss it.
Yeah.
The Mothra twins were in there, but you had to pay attention to find them.
Yes, that one. That was clever.
That was a very clever one. There's a reference to the character from Kong Skull Island. The doctor
it was
there.
Corey Hawkins' character all grown up.
But it
for,
was always
like,
in the
one
rain,
scene.
and it reminded me a lot of Al Roker.
Yeah.
There's too many. There's too many.
Just simply. I mean, they said that they crammed in every single possible thing that they could in there. So I mean, every scene there's something
alludes
in there,
to
some
something.
in the background. So if you like Easter eggs,
wait for the Blu-ray and just start pausing
go
it every
hunting.
30 seconds. It was a bad day to be Boston, though. It was a really bad day to be Boston.
Yeah.
Apparently
and
Washington.
They don't like it. Well, yeah, and see, that's something that kind of bothered me a little bit. So it's like the first movie we attacked Las Vegas and San Francisco. This one they attacked Boston, D.C., and at least 5 or 6 other major cities.
Because they said London and Paris.
Yeah,
and
all across the world. 17 of these things all over the world. So just, I mean, but they're putting off such mass amounts of radiation that these cities are now unlivable afterwards. So like, there's not going to be any room left after the next couple of sequels.
Has cancer.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw Godzilla? Now you have cancer.
Yeah. Congratulations, you now have cancer. So what'd you think?
I got to give it an 8 out of 10. I do. 8 stars out of 10. It could have been better. Not in the rain. I really want to see a monster movie out of the rain. I understand
like
why
broad daylight.
Why they use rain. It's easy to cover up CGI flaws. But Kong Skull Island was perfect, and it was not in any rain.
Yes, and it was in the broad daylight.
I mean,
we got like that one scene at the end of the first one where it was in daylight. And I guess technically the end of this one was in daylight too. But yeah, I agree. I want to see daytime fighting. Like, I mean, your CGI is phenomenal, guys. I mean,
we didn't even talk about the Antarctic fight when you're low angles and just
you've got people like standing underneath. I mean, the scene from the trailer where Ghidorah and Godzilla run at each other and clash there on the ice. I mean, there's a helicopter sitting in between them that I never noticed before. I don't even know if it showed it in the trailer or not, but yeah, I mean,
a lot of low angle shots. You really get
you get to see the fight from like next to Godzilla's foot.
Yeah, we counted how many times they needed to change their brown pants.
Yes, yeah.
I think we're 9 or 10.
So as far as like a 1-10 scale, man, I don't even know. I mean, I knew that I went into it expecting lots of monster, really terrible human story, but ended up getting awesome monster movie and a pretty decent human story too.
It was easy to follow. It really was.
So I think an 8 or a 9 would be a fair score there. I mean, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was giddy as a schoolgirl watching that movie many times over. It was like, oh, here we go.
Here we go. Like this. I will say this at the very end. When I first saw it, we saw it at a theater in Springfield, packed house. No empty seats. And at the end where they gave the in memory of two of the Tokusatsu, I don't even think I pronounced that right, but Suitmation actors, just rounds of applause. I mean, because those that knew it, it was well deserved.
Yeah, and it showed him a picture of him with the suit and everything, so that was a nice touch. And I love the fact that Godzilla, Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah, they're actually listed in the credits.
Played by themselves,
yes.
Could have been even better if they'd have said stunt spy.
Yeah, right? Stunt spy, Godzilla, Ghidorah.
They do their own stunts.
Who is Godzilla's stunt man?
He does his own stunts. Come on, he's like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan, he does his own stuff.
So what do you guys think? If you've seen the movie, tell us what you thought of it. If you haven't seen it,
go see it.
Tell us what you think of it anyway. Cool. Drop it in the comments below.
Yep.
Make sure you continue to comment, like, share, and please subscribe, because doing videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and well, it helps if people watch those videos. So that's always a good thing to do. Also, while you're here on the internet, please jump over to www.geekycool.com for more all things nerd. I came up with that myself, the all things nerd thing. Yeah.
Well, they said about the nerds in the movie. Did you talk about the nerds in the movie?
There were nerds in the movie?
Yeah, there were nerds in the movie.
I missed that. We've got articles, we've got reviews, we've got videos, we've got game reviews, just a little bit of everything. And I'm also going to be doing some exclusive video work for the site here coming up very soon, so don't miss out on that. Just head over to www.geekycool.com and check it out. But thank you. Yeah, this was his idea, and I was more than happy to hear from him. So I've missed doing this. We got to do this more often.
We will do this more often.
Like we've already been talking about the possibility of another one next month, I think. Yeah, so
maybe for a web slinger.
I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And until then, thank you guys so much for watching. I love every single one of you, except you. You know who you are.
Is that's watching. The one?
He's watching.
He's
right
watching
now.
right now.
Why?
Why? Actually, thank you for watching.
I mean, thank you for watching, but still, I don't
trust him.
See you soon.